Hi, I'm Brett. This
is Grace.
And we're
Grace and Brett.
Together doing
A movie vlog.
two
The Beast.
Directed by
I don't remember.
Bertrand Bonello. Starring
Léa Seydoux.
Did you say Léa Seydoux? I think it's Léa Seydoux.
I don't think so. Anyways, I was doing my reading vlog. I thought this would be such a good idea to do with movies. Do you know a lot about reading vlogs?
I don't know anything. I didn't know people did those.
Okay, so basically, people will read books, and usually they'll do it throughout the day or throughout the week. And then while they're reading the book, they might sort of do like a video diary. This means you haven't watched my latest video, right?
Taught me.
This is also probably not an original idea. Like, this has probably been done before.
Everything's derivative.
Yeah. Nobody's creative anymore. Nobody's original.
Except for me.
We're going to watch a movie. Like, usually we pause it and we like go to the bathroom, get a drink, whatever. And then I thought when we pause it, we can sort of give our thoughts. So when you and I watch movies, we talk for like an hour about the movie afterwards. And sometimes we like butt heads. I thought people might be entertained by this if they could watch it.
I hope so.
I thought I could exploit that and like post it to the internet. Maybe people will watch it.
That's a good idea.
He agrees with everything I say.
The director's name is Bertrand Bonello. The movie's name is The Beast.
We thought we would just take you along with us on our evening of movie watching. We're inventing the movie vlog.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks.
Never been done before.
We invented the movie vlog. Hello, can you tell me how you feel about the movie? What are your thoughts on the movie so far?
I think it's really good. I love the visuals. It's got this sort of like austerity, you know? The sets are very minimal, but they're very beautiful. They're very clean. He's a big fan. I'm digging the surrealism. Obviously something going on here with like timelines or like past lives. Seems to be some sort of dystopian AI future. There's this constant sort of uneasiness because you still don't really know. We're only like a third through and you still definitely don't know what's going on at this point in the movie. Well said. Very well said.
I agree. What was it that you said when we were done?
I wasn't expecting it to be a feel-bad movie.
Oh yeah, feel bad movie.
Yeah, it's definitely not a very happy ending. It's filled with a lot of uneasy, unsettling imagery.
I guess we can just talk about the ending first, since that's like fresh on our brain. But
Yeah.
like, this is a horror film, a real life horror film.
Whatever you're starting to think the movie's gonna feel like, within like the first 30 minutes to an hour, just know that it's not going to feel at all similar to that by the end of the movie.
And literally till like the last minute. While the movie is sort of surreal and some might say like all over the place, it has pretty much the same tone throughout the whole movie, but it's literally in that last minute
Yeah.
where you
It throws
just
you for a
feel
loop.
like, yeah, definitely. The whole movie makes you feel like this really big sense of dread the whole time. You always think you know what the bad thing is going to be, what the beast is going to be.
Yeah.
But you don't actually know until the end.
This is a very existential film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different eras that are depicted in this film, and one of them, very near and dear to our hearts, the year 2014.
2014,
Yeah.
the year I graduated high school.
Brilliant acting, by the way. I mean, we finally figured out how to say her name, Léa Seydoux.
Léa
Seydoux. She's so subtle yet so expressive. Even spanning these different eras, these different aesthetics, she pulled every role that she was given off flawlessly.
She truly was like the perfect person, I think, to play this role because of what you just said about her being very expressive. They talk a lot about like people's facial expressions and how the face shows emotion. There's a scene where the main guy character is asking Léa Seydoux's character about these dolls that her husband makes in a factory. Asks her if the dolls have happy faces, angry faces, sad faces, like do they switch the faces? She says no, they're just sort of neutral. She shows a neutral face. I feel like in her neutral like gaze, see like so many different emotions.
The movie's basically loaded with symbols, though, dolls being one of them. This seems to be one of the most densely written sort of films that I've seen in a while. It doesn't want to smack you in the face with like all of its metaphors, its allegories and whatnot. It's almost like painterly, and it explores things very loosely. There's flashbacks, there's flash forwards, there's constant like things being like interwoven together, and it all feels very like stream of consciousness in the most like appealing way possible. A great comparison that I personally would make to this film, if anyone's into like surreal films in general, the later works of David Lynch. Like tonally, this film is very reminiscent, I think, personally, especially with how eclectic it is at times, to the third season of Twin Peaks.
Yeah, but I would also argue that while this is surreal, it's a bit easier to swallow, maybe.
Yeah.
If you've like watched David Lynch and you don't really vibe with it, I would still recommend this film.
This is just like so refreshing because much like David Lynch's films, these are clearly chock full of symbolism and like hidden meaning and mysteries. There's just like a near infinite amount of ways to interpret it.
Because it's a movie that's like literally about emotion. Yeah. Whatever someone personally takes from it emotionally, it could be interpreted that way.
There were many moments where I was like feeling extreme emotion, and we're talking about like romances across generations, dread being transferred from like one lifetime to another lifetime, perfecting itself and sometimes like collapsing in on itself. Yeah, George McKay as well. He's the male lead in this film, and at first I didn't think he was going to play nearly as significant a role as Léa Seydoux, but
I think we've said her name like
we're trying to get it right.
We can just call her Léa.
You can tell we don't speak French that often. Later on in the film, he suddenly shifts into one of the most unexpected roles that you could ever see coming.
And I love movies that give actors opportunities to play different characters. I'm thinking of like Kinds of Kindness.
Yeah.
All of the actors in that movie, with each story, they felt like different characters. Like none of them ever felt like the same.
They got to wear a lot of hats in that film. Realism is just like popping off lately. I feel like surrealist films are doing quite well.
A surrealist renaissance.
Yeah.
Someone's going to be watching this and they're going to be like,
surreal movies never left. Like, what are you talking about?
I know we're not up to date, but
Well, what was your favorite part?
I like messed up stuff. I'll say I like pretty messed up stuff usually. So, and I don't mean messed up in like, oh, that was like gory or that was like
Mhm.
disgusting. The movie gets very, very discomforting,
Yeah,
gets
I
very
think that's a good word.
overwhelming and anxiety inducing. I love the 2014 part. Since we're gonna spell it all out. The 2014 segment was a standout for me. That uh, is like the middle of these, you know, generationally separated characters, all played by the same actors. He knocked it out of the park, evoking the era. Spoiler alert: have an Elliot Rogers stand-in in the film. The movie gets quite weird during this section. So much creativity. It's just like amazing. What about you? What was your favorite part?
I actually think that my favorite part is the ending. And not because, thank God, this 2.5 hour movie is over now. No, because it could have kept going and I would have been happy. My favorite part was the ending because that's what the whole movie has been leading
Yeah,
up
it's
to.
an amazing ending. Much like another movie this year, Challengers, this movie just ended on a totally unexpected, like, well, that movie ended on a very sort of unexpected high note.
Yeah.
This one ended on a very unexpected low note. Came so suddenly and completely out of left field.
When it happened and the screen goes to black, I thought, okay, what is going to happen next? And then, like, almost immediately after, I was like, oh, I know. Nothing can happen next. That's interesting you brought up Challengers because I wasn't thinking about it that way, but the visceral reaction I had while watching Challengers is equal to this one that I had watching this.
It feels like you're at the mercy of the director.
Extremely upsetting feeling watching this one.
And much like Challengers, this is yet another film where I feel like the director was in complete control the entire time. Some movies you think are going to be good, but then they just flail. They just completely collapse in on themselves.
It's always like in like the end of the second half towards the like third act.
But no, this movie literally, once it started, once it got going, it was like we were like locked in. There weren't even like, you know, we weren't even having like I want to say, can I say cinema?
I'm like no one on the internet. Nobody knows me at all.
There weren't even moments because, you know, sometimes you care so little about a film that you're watching that you'll just like start making cinema sinsy observations and be like, that doesn't make sense. That's stupid. But
which is a really dumb thing to do in a surreal
it's
movie.
a dumb thing to do, but sometimes the movies that you're watching are expecting so little of you that you don't need to give it that much respect. It was operating on a whole other level, so uniquely itself and confidently so. It's just shot so well. It's shot so well.
You never get like visually bored.
No, this is a feast for the eyes.
To end this, what do you feel like was the sort of thesis of the film?
Our lives are all working toward a goal that we may not achieve even within our life currently. Also, I think it's dealing in universalities. Different eras, throughout different time periods, we are faced with similar looming horrors, existential horrors, that we might not be able to fully identify, but we feel nonetheless. They're not unique necessarily to your current existence, but perhaps to all of your conceivable existences. That's just like my uneducated take on it.
No, I think that's interesting. Definitely talked about like the, you know, the universal things that we all go through. Moments of the film where you feel like maybe it's saying, why are you scared? Don't be scared. In the end, I feel like it was actually saying, be scared.
Yeah.
You should be scared because emotions like fear are important to feel. I do feel like the movie was heavily about human connection. It was sort of saying we're all sort of lonely and scared in the world. We need people. And we need, not only do we need people, but we need our emotions and feelings. We should never become desensitized to things, neutral to things, because when we do, that's the scary part.
You should embrace your feelings, guys, basically.
When was the last time that you cried?
Yeah. Think about that.
Put that in the comments, please. Thank you for listening to two pseudo intellectuals talk about a very intellectual movie. Remember, everyone, this is not a movie review. This is a movie vlog.
Vlog.
Yeah,
Because we invented the movie vlog.
that's right.
And so if you want to watch more movie vlogs, because no one else on the internet is doing this, then you should subscribe and like this video.
Do it.
Watch a movie and maybe cry once in a while.